welcome into another MGM podcast. Formal name, MarketAbilities by Growing Media. It's one word. I mean, it's a phrase. It's a word that we coined. We just put it together. Our
I thought
abilities
it was in the
to
dictionary.
market. MarketAbilities is one word.
You think
It will
it's
be.
not in the Webster yet?
It will be. It will be just like the word ain't that took forever to get in there, but now it's there. Now it is there, baby. And when you tune in, we want you to learn, we want you to develop, and then ultimately we want to launch you into success.
Infinity. Oh, it's success.
And
beyond.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we just all got together today around whatever time it is and just to talk to you about something. And I guess
That's really specific.
Is it specific? Yes. You remember that elevator pitch we talked about last podcast? No, we're here to talk about the importance of young people taking a chance. We had a really cool thing happen this week at Growing Media. A young man who has quite a story, actually. He's in his teens, I believe, maybe early 20s, has gone through some hard times, some difficult times with family, at one point been homeless, but still had this desire and belief in himself to do better and to maybe start a business and try a couple of things. And he loves marketing and he loves people. And it took a lot of courage for him to call Growing Media. Yeah. And we brought him in, which we often do when people show interest, and just to see we might be able to plug him in, you know. And it was, I think it was a really cool experience for everybody. It reminds you to take chances.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was really surprised by him, especially whenever he said he was 19. I was like
19, that's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
I was like blown away. I was like, he's already talking about being financially free.
Oh yeah.
When I was 19, I don't even know what the word finance even meant.
Right.
I couldn't spell it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you did, you misspelled it on purpose just to get people's attention. Right?
Well, that was a throwback to the
That
last
was a
episode,
throwback.
right?
To, yes.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's interesting. He talked about following a lot of these financial gurus and these marketing gurus online, and the Instagram. Who were some of those? There's a Cardone or Grant.
Grant Cardone.
That's it.
Oh,
yeah. So he says he's a student of his, and whatever, and that's great. But you really do, if you're interested in this type of work or whatever type of work it may be, don't be afraid to reach out in your own community and where you're living and go in and shadow and make sure that you like the real life. I mean, it's great when you get to that level, but what are the stepping stones to get there to that point?
Yeah, because there's a lot of hard work and a lot of hard days that, you know, because I feel like I'm even in the middle of it right now where I will, you know, soon be on my own, right? On, you know, only making money for myself. And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Wait, now what are you doing? Are you leaving us at Growing Media?
I'm not leaving Growing Media. Remember? We were talking about this.
That's right. Yeah, that's
I'm
the
not
thing.
in on this.
Yeah, with several people here, we're all contract workers, and a lot of people will do a couple of different things job-wise. Yeah, and you may just have to make a decision as you go and you get busier. You know, choose one of those things. Which is it going to be? So
right.
Yes, Shane said he wanted to jump in today because he felt like you had quite a bit to offer.
Yeah, if you're talking about,
I hope you do. Anyway,
jumping ship and taking some risks or doing what you want to do,
he's 25, not old yet.
No,
but, you know, young enough.
I'm mid old. I feel like for young people I'm old, and for old people I'm young.
Close.
No, you're not old at all, dude. I'm gonna turn 30. Okay,
I know, but
in like 3 weeks. And I feel like my life is starting over. Like I'm starting from scratch.
Here's what I figured
beautiful.
out.
It is
for
beautiful.
like Gen Z, for like true Gen Z people, I'm old because I'm 25. I'm an old man already. But for everyone who is like any older than me, I'm still a baby. So it's a weird like middle ground.
I'm still a baby.
Like
How do
at least
you view Shane, baby?
I didn't know he was 25.
You didn't?
No. I think it's the beard.
What?
I think it's the beard.
Definitely
below 30, but probably above 25.
People would be shocked to learn you're 13. I think that's great.
You're actually wrong. Tomorrow's my 13th birthday. I'm technically
I thought
12.
you had that work permit and everything ready to go.
Yeah.
That's 15 though, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean,
No, I got my driver's license.
Awesome. What are you're 22? That's right.
Oh wow. Yeah, I thought
you.
you were older than that too.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Sorry.
Oh, he's a poet and didn't know it. Looked
I'm
down at
Taylor
his feet
Swift.
and realized they're Longfellows. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, talking about like taking a risk. I mean, I had a corporate job. I worked for
Nope. Full time. Yep.
full time
Job.
an insurance
Just a job.
company.
Yeah.
That is unnamed. I'm not
Unnamed.
But I had a cushy job. I could have, climbed the ranks. I had options available to me, but that was just not the life I wanted.
You mean the timed bathroom breaks and
Oh my gosh.
so
I'm-
many
okay.
a day and
So I understand from a business perspective, being inside of that, I understand why they do it. However, it is ridiculous. It's they very much choose your schedule. There's not a lot of freedom.
is that called
in a job like that.
micromanagement?
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking prison, but yeah.
But I mean, you get in a job like that, there's a lot of safety there because I mean,
It is.
everyone
Time management.
there, especially in that company. I mean, I knew all the senior management. They had started from a smaller position.
Mm-hmm.
They had good salaries. They had a good life. I mean, once you get your way up inside of the business, in any corporate position, I feel like there's comfort there a lot of times,
Sure.
or perceived
Stability.
stability.
Yeah.
But everybody's expendable. We all know
all the
that.
time.
We've learned the hard way.
Oh yeah, there was actually a corporate shift, a CEO shift that happened while I was there, where they kind of actually encouraged me to kind of take that leap and get out, because I saw tons of people who've been with the company 20, 30 years. I mean, you really think that you're cemented in there. Like, I have a position. I'm a vice president. Like, I make $100,000 a year. I'm a vice president. I've been here forever. I'm going to be here forever till I retire. I just saw him get cut immediately. Wow. I mean, I think there's such a perceived safety in a lot of these jobs that you don't really have. And there's like and there is a risk in doing your own thing, into having your own business, and to getting into that. I mean, 100%. But I don't think that there's as much safety in some of those corporate jobs as people think there is.
Right.
And I feel like the reward, for doing your own thing, even the failures, there's some sweetness to it, because it's you. It's all on you. It's yours.
Yeah, you're learning by doing.
I think a big thing is the personal growth that comes along with doing it. You grow so much as a person.
Totally.
When you get put in these really tight situations and it's on you. Like there's no boss, hey, can you help me with this? Or coworker, it's on you.
Right.
No
one else to blame it on.
No. I mean, you can blame it on me, but
Yeah. Well, no, I think that goes back to an earlier point of sometimes finding that safety by doing a couple of things, like you have a safety net. But truly, and you hear it all of the time, and then you have to just ask yourself if it's worth the risk, but why aren't you doing what you love? Life is short. You spend 75% of your time at work. If you have something, a business, a product, a service, you have something, and you know that no one will outwork you, and you have a great work ethic. You don't take many, bathroom breaks. You don't, you stay on the clock. You're a self-starter. You're motivated. Leap, baby. That's what I say.
100%.
Who cares if you make $10,000 a year?
And one thing I want to point out is the corporate job is always going to be there.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you just fail miserably and things crumble to the ground, it's like you can always just go find a job, fix it, and then try again.
Yeah.
Like there's it's like you just have to live the life that you want to live.
You do.
It's not
You
worth
only
it.
get one.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I think doing risky things carefully is way smarter than just doing risky. It's fun to be risky and all that, but I think like what you're talking
Calculated
about.
risk.
Exactly. I think calculating that and taking into account and really weighing, is this best for me? And if the answer is yes, then go for it.
I mean, I didn't just
Obviously.
jump out with absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I mean, some people do that and it's great. And it works out really
you
well
had
for
been
them.
stalking growing media for years.
Oh, many
You had
years.
been trying to get in, and we wanted you to come in, but that's the other thing. As a group of contract workers, do you fully understand the risks? What are you accustomed to making? What must you make to survive, to be able to keep the roof over your wife's head and start this young family? And that's a huge responsibility as a group of cohorts. Is, are we helping you? Are we helping you make the right decision if we say, sure, come on over?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
true.
But like you shared earlier, and I love that, if you know that you're going to pound the pavement and send those DMs and message people and know that you get so much accomplished every single day, why wouldn't you be in business for yourself? Because failure is not an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have that drive, like we talked a little bit about in the last episode, when I was trying to do more album artwork and work with more musicians, it was 100 DMs a day, easy. I would send DMs until Instagram would not let me send DMs because they thought I was
Love that.
Like I was.
And you
You're a
may get
bot.
what? 2 calls, 2 responses, 10 responses, what?
Yeah,
1?
you could get 2 out of 100, and that's 2.
That's right. That's 2. That's
And
all you
that's
need.
2 you would not have had. You can be the best at whatever you're doing in the world, but if no one knows about it, what's
That's
the point?
right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
7 calls and you get 1 client, they said. If you call on 7, you may land 1 of those.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm about to say that. I feel like that's a pretty
Well,
high number.
even with like
Depending.
the DM thing, like you'll see an artist and you'll be like, "There's no way they'll respond," and then
They're the ones who respond.
Exactly.
It's
You,
crazy.
you some of them you might be right, but you send enough, and if you're offering something that's beneficial
That's
and
right.
helpful, and you know the market that you're going for, if it's something that they can't refuse, they can't refuse it.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big deal. Jacob, can you talk about, like, say, like, if a kid's just getting into college
Yeah.
and instead of getting, like, a job, like a part-time job, like, they could totally hustle on the side, doing what you did.
Yeah, I can't speak for every like type of job, but
Right.
but I think you have a device in your pocket that can communicate with anybody in the world, and so why wouldn't you try to do that? I reached out to there was a little bit where I wanted a job at SNL, so I reached out to people. Ooh, the screen is off.
Love that.
Everyone thank Lucas.
Go ahead.
But like there are so many people. Like I reached out to people that had internships at SNL that I found on LinkedIn. I reached out. I flew out to LA to network with alumni that I never would have met if I had just been sitting in my room during COVID quarantine.
That's
so
right.
I was on LinkedIn. I was going through these businesses that I might want to work for, and I was going through them, and I was looking at all their employees, and I was looking for anyone that had any kind of connection with me, alumni from the same university, something like that, sending messages, dozens of messages a day, getting some responses, some don't respond, and then from there it was just I was doing Zoom interviews. And I wasn't asking for anything. I wasn't like asking for internships. I just wanted to know everything.
Oh
that they
yeah.
knew.
Wow.
Just like a sponge.
And so like I felt awful because I couldn't work as far into like kind of propelling myself during quarantine. But then the Zoom, like even when there's limitations, there's like what is it? Oh, it closes the door, opens the window.
That's right.
You
man.
can't talk
Or
to
a
all
much
these
bigger door opens.
Yeah, you can't talk to all these people in person, but now everyone has Zoom on their laptop.
Yeah.
So now,
That's a big deal.
So I was talking to people from Netflix. I was talking to people from Warner Brothers. I was talking to people that have worked on Dune, Godzilla, like stuff like that. And those were all people that exist now, and they were helpful for me. But there's a different set of people that will be helpful for you, and
That's
they
right.
are a search away, a click away. And if they don't respond, then there's another person that will. But they never will if you don't know where you're trying to head out.
That's right.
Knowing your market's one thing, but kind of knowing where you might want to go, and also like
Weren't you a walk-in? Did you just walk
Yeah,
in
he
one day?
did.
He just
Yeah.
walked in, and I think
you
the
would
next day we
be
threw him on set.
surprised
He goes,
by how many places I just show up at, or how many DMs I just appear in, or how many.
what I love
messages I'll
though is
show
I
up
think
in.
he showed up day 2. I was in makeup, and I said, "You have your camera right?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Dude, if you're here, we need you to shoot." Didn't you have to go get your camera? Did you
Yeah.
even bring it that day?
No, I didn't know what was happening at all.
Not many people do when they
No,
walk
that's
into what
true.
is growing news.
You had asked me earlier if I had gear, and I said yes.
Right. You
And
didn't
that-
think I wanted you to bring it?
No. Well,
Do you have gear just in case one day we may need it?
in my head, I was like, these guys have been operating pretty fine without me, so I'm
Right.
sure. I'm sure like, they have some equipment.
Right. And everybody's very, very
They're
particular.
they're very
they
work-
take it with them,
Yeah.
their gear.
But then I went back and I got it and immediately
did.
just right to work. And
We fell in love with you, no doubt. So, that's the thing. Success tips for self-starters and young entrepreneurs. I think we just heard you leave no stone unturned.
No.
Ever. I mean, you work it, baby.
Yeah.
And you get ready to challenge yourself. And it is scary. And you will lie in bed many nights wondering, what have I done? And where am I supposed to make money tomorrow? Or how?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Keep you up at night.
And then if you have the pressure of your young wife saying, "What are you doing, loser?"
Oh yeah, it's one thing I feel like to like be a single guy
That's right.
and do it.
You
'Cause,
don't
like,
have to eat.
Listen, if it was just me, if it was all on me, if I failed, whatever. Honestly, it's one thing, but when you have people who are looking to you like, "Hey, you're my support,"
Mm-hmm.
like, I need you to find a way to work. you got to find a way to make it work. I mean, it's a different game.
But maybe that's a conversation you have within your household as well. I think with you guys, they did a pivot where I think you had an agreement that she would, help to foot a majority of the bills as an educator or teacher. She said, I think I can carry you for a little bit.
We had a discussion where I let her know, I'm like, hey, because
I quit my job today.
Actually, it was the opposite.
Okay.
The whole situation was the opposite. I had wanted to do it for a long time and to make the leap and to do things and to really like commit to this is what I want to do. And I had actually not done it for a long time. And she came to me one day and was like, I want you to just go for it. I want you to do it. I want you to do what you want to do.
And that's on being supportive.
Yeah, that's on having a supportive partner.
Like, man, I love you.
For real. And I had not done it because it was scary and because I knew that, I'm kind of the primary,
breadwinner.
Yeah, in the house. And so it's scary to...
But, man, you can fish. Like, you can hunt. You will never go without food.
No, food's not an issue.
Yeah, you don't have to keep baking bread.
We're going to eat. Right.
But, yeah, I mean, just having a supportive partner that's okay with, like, we had the conversation where I was like, I don't know, here's how much... I know I'm going to do everything I can to make it what we need. But there may be some harder times that come up in the beginning here, and she said that's fine.
And you knew that it was better for you, though.
Yeah, and she knew it was better
ultimately.
for me.
And that means better for you.
Better for everybody.
Yeah.
Until he was here 2 nights in a row.
Well, yeah.
Overnight, editing a show. And she's not home.
And then we were like, wait, is this worth it?
Right.
We try to limit those.
We do. And just so she continues to speak to everybody.
I actually had a conversation with an entrepreneur yesterday. He's going to remain unnamed for now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is a very successful entrepreneur?
I wouldn't say very successful.
Are we doing any commercial
just
work for him?
remotely? No.
Oh, that was crap.
No. But we had a conversation. We were having a heart-to-heart yesterday, and he had told me he started his business 4 or 5 years ago. Sorry, a helicopter just flew over the building.
The entrepreneur is dropping in on the building.
And he's right here.
But no, we were having a heart to heart yesterday about a lot of things because I was telling him like, hey, I'm gonna probably venture out on my own, not have a part-time job anymore, really just make money for who I am.
Audio engineer,
being an audio engineer, videographer, yeah.
That's it there.
And so he was telling me about whenever he quit his job. And for him, it was basically a very clear message from God that he needed to quit. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have anything lined up. He didn't have anything, not anything. And he wasn't making money off of his business yet because the business wasn't volatile. They were still in debt and, working through those phases, right? Because with some businesses, you just kind of have to start that way. And then in 2 or 3 years, you start to profit.
Sure.
And he said the past few years, he's really been tempted to get a job.
Ooh.
Several times. And it was cool that he admitted that to me. He's like, hey, obviously he hasn't, but he's like, man, there's been so many times where I'm like, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. And so just be prepared for that because those times are going to happen. And you either have the choice to stay strong and believe that, things are going to happen and that you can make it happen, or you can go back to a job.
Right, and that failure is a real step towards success. You've got to be really low to appreciate the highs.
Exactly.
You really do, and you want to keep working on yourself. With that young man that came into the studio, we just encouraged him, and we talked about all the tools that we have. But he doesn't have his own gear. Which is what you need to be a contract worker in a marketing ad agency. Yeah. But he explained what he was good at, what he could offer the customer, and I shared with him we would be happy to white label, which, maybe you could do that in your industry or with your product or whatever, because there's real strength in numbers and co-ops and, get on board with other people who are doing similar things as you. And when I wrote the children's book, I remember calling my mom and I said, hey, I'm about to take a leap here, and I had to buy 3,000 units of the toy if I wanted the toy to go with the book. And I said, what do you think? That's kind of a commitment. She goes, knowing you would sell it out of the trunk of your car if you needed to. So
that's
go
so
for
true.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just know that you're not going to stop and you'll do it and, send messages, and you just won't go away. You will be that fly in someone's, that gnat. You just will not go away.
You will be that person in their inbox that is circling back again.
Totally. And that kid did. I mean, I bet you he called me 3 or 4 times. I said, honey, just come on in. We're going to have a meeting on Tuesday. I don't know what, if anything, we're going to be able to do with you.
Yeah.
Come on in.
That's cool though that he was persistent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I told him. He said he really likes the sales side of marketing. And I said, perfect, because none of us do.
Yeah.
So, go out and sell the little stuff, and we'll see if you can be successful. And then before you know it, who would it be? Microsoft or Big Apple or whomever.
Yeah.
He may be calling you for us to do your marketing, right?
Yes. I'm ready.
No doubt. And don't, that's the other thing, is don't be a lone wolf. You want to explore those networking and the art of asking questions. That's the other thing I really liked about him, is he didn't pretend when he didn't know. I mean, he looked at me many times like I had 3 heads. He goes, I'm sorry, what does that word mean? Or, and I loved it, though.
That's
it was
humble.
adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Hey, look at what time. We're
We're over. Kind of, because it took us a little bit.
Any last words, Jacob? Sometimes he leaves really good last words. Yeah, he's going to blow it now, I know, but it'll be
Daylight savings.
it's a whole other debate. Is it necessary? Really?
No.
That's my word.
That's
Daylight
my word.
savings.
That's 2 words.
None of you say it really fast.
Hey, listen, if Angie can combine 2 words, marketabilities,
That's it. That's it. All right. Find us if you haven't already. MarketAbilities, MGM Podcast, growingmediamarketing.com. And we're online on all of your social platforms.
All of your favorite spots.
Yeah.
Your
For
favorite
podcasts.
spots?
Like podcasts. Yeah, I think he tried
okay.
to condense the word there, so that didn't work at all. That was okay. We better rehearse a little bit more. We'll see you next time.
All right, see you guys.
Perfect.
Like,